Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me while I review movies. I'm the mom, and here's my review. Be sure and subscribe. The movie I'm reviewing today is called The Devil All the Time. It's rated R, it's 2 hours and 18 minutes, and the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is I went back and forth, but I'm ultimately going to give it a B minus. Now, stay with me here and let me explain why. And in fact, I almost didn't upload this video because I had such mixed feelings about the movie. It's definitely not for everyone, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let me give you an overview and I'll point out some things I liked and didn't like, tips for parents, and that kind of stuff. So, first, this is actually a movie on Netflix. And so, as I was debating whether or not I should even review it, I thought, well, it's on Netflix. People are going to see it. They're going to wonder about it, and everybody's talking. So I should let you know and give you the heads up. A lot of these Netflix movies are going to be up for nominations for Oscar, for the Academy Awards. And because the cast is so strong in this movie, I have a feeling it may move itself up into some kind of a nomination. And so I would feel terrible if I didn't say anything about it. But again, I'm jumping ahead of myself. It's directed by Antonio Campos, and it's based on the Gothic crime novel also called The Devil All the Time. What's cool is that in this movie, the narrator is actually the author of the book, Donald Ray Pollock. So I think that's really cool. And he actually has a great voice, and it's perfect for this story. Now, Knock'em Stiff is a town that's featured in the movie where a lot of events occurred. And you would swear that that's a made up name, but it's real. It's actually where Donald Ray Pollock grew up. And so there you go. I thought it was like a message within the name of the city, but it's actually a real legit town. The movie is produced by Jake Gyllenhaal, and that didn't surprise me because of some of his edgy movies, and how this movie actually kind of made me feel like it was a really appropriate fit for him. And I could see why he was attracted to it because there are a lot of layers of things worth talking about and character development and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, I could see him being in the movie, and I'm surprised that he wasn't, honestly. And so, speaking of the cast, this is why you want to watch the movie. It's like watching an acting class, it's very well done. That being said, it's very bleak and gruesome and violent, and it features the ugliness of twisted people. And so, this is not a family friendly film by any stretch, and nor one that you want to watch and analyze with your grandma, unless she's into horror and artsy fartsy stuff. So here are some tips for parents. First of all, you see the first gross thing is you see this gory, bloody scene of a man on a cross. And then you see it several more times in the movie because it's a significant moment in one of the characters' lives. There's also a disgusting scene where a guy pours a bunch of spiders on his face. Yes, real spiders. They used real spiders, and they're big ones. And so, that's so gross. A kid gets a black eye from a fight. We don't see that fight, but we see lots of other fighting, fist fights and really hard punches and stuff. There's portrayal and talk of suicide, deaths, bloody murders, two awkward car scenes that imply intimate relations and inappropriate non-marital relations. There's some profanity, but a lot of F-bombs. You see a woman in a bra, and you're like, oh, but then you see her full on topless. You also see a man full on frontal naked. And then you see pictures of naked people and things. And you're just like, oh, okay. So I would not let your kids wander into watching this and thinking that it's going to be this educational movie or anything like that. There are, however, themes worth mentioning, and they are gossip, faith, and religion. And that's actually a huge part of the movie. And as a Christian, I have a really hard time seeing Christians and Christianity portrayed this way in films, I mean, no wonder so many people are not interested in religion when it's portrayed like this. Not only how people behave or how people interpret religion, well, all of those things, but just the hypocrisy and the crazy extremism and all of that. I just think, come on, how about a good movie where Christians are actually shown to be Christ-like, loving and kind and that kind of thing? Well, that is not this movie. Another theme is to stand up for yourself and for others. Deception and also the lives we touch, and in the surprising ways that we touch each other's lives. Now, some things that I liked are absolutely the cast. It is really fantastic. And let me start with Robert Pattinson. He has been cranking out a ton of really exceptional performances. He's not just that Twilight vampire anymore. Oh no, he is very versatile. And in fact, when you see or hear the voice that comes out of him in this movie, you're going to be like, whoa. It's really good and perfect for his character. And I read in another interview with him that he felt like a phony if he used his real natural voice with his natural British accent from London. And so he makes it a personal challenge to use a different accent in every movie. And he absolutely does. It's something that he loves to do in films, and which makes him stand out. You know, there are some great actors who are good actors, but he's a really good character actor because of the ability that he has, the chameleon-like ability to change his voice. So good for him. He just did a really great job. And in fact, he didn't let anybody hear the voice that he was thinking about using until the first day of filming. Some of the other characters were like, okay, what do you think of this voice? You know, and kind of trying to get feedback. And he was like, nope, total secret until the day of filming. And then everybody was like, whoa. Anyway, amazing Spider-Man fans will be thrilled to see Tom Holland in this movie. And he shows he's got some acting chops too. He's not just some adolescent flying superhero on spider webs, right? I mean, he does a really great dramatic role. I was very, very impressed. And Peter Parker just disappears in this role as this new character emerges. And be patient because he doesn't show up until about 46 minutes into the movie. But when he does, he makes an impact. Marvel fans will also enjoy seeing Sebastian Stan, although I didn't recognize him, just sort of out of the MCU. I just didn't picture him in this context, and he does a great job. Like I said, all of the actors do a really great job. All of the female actresses also are excellent, especially considering they weren't given as big of a role as the guys were in the movie. I want to give a shout out to Haley Bennett, Mia Wasikowska, and Eliza Scanlen and Kristen Griffith for the short speaking parts that they had. I thought that they really nailed it. So good for them. Really strong production values. It really takes you back in time. And honestly, this was actually one of the rare occasions where Netflix green-lighted a movie that was filmed on 35 millimeter film. So that was kind of cool to see. Jason Clarke, of course, is always good and is good, but he kind of plays a character we've seen him do before, not to dismiss his performance because it was good. And then now some things that I didn't like. So first of all, the whole religious aspect of it, which I mentioned, just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And like horror movies, and this, I wouldn't say this is a horror movie, but kind of. There are some horrific scenes in the movie where you're just like, you know. But anyway, what I was going to say was, like horror movies, a lot of the characters are just clueless and they don't see what's coming. Now, granted, this was supposed to take place in a much simpler, more innocent time. And I think people were genuinely more naive and innocent of the world and just assumed everybody was good. And so people stumble into really bad situations, and it's just heartbreaking. Most of the characters are about the same age. So I think other than Jason Clarke, it kind of feels like a bunch of millennials, maybe. not, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying there wasn't a huge contrast, although there is supposed to be some time shifting as we go forward and backward in time, and characters are supposed to age, but they don't really. Like, there's not a whole lot of makeup and hair and posture changing really that happens that you think, oh, okay, so a bunch of time has passed. So in that regard too, characters jump forward and backward in time, and that could make it difficult for some viewers to understand what's going on. So, just do the best you can. It's not super complicated, but just know that going in, there's flashbacks and that kind of stuff. So with a title like The Devil All the Time, you can bet that there are some very extremely dark moments and things that you wish that you hadn't seen. And I'm speaking for myself, of course. Okay, that's it. So heads up, just so you have a little idea of the content. And that's kind of my goal here at Movie Review Mom, just to let you know what to expect. And if there are certain things that might bother you, then stay away and you won't have missed anything. It's not like the world's greatest movie. If it wins Best Picture, I will just roll my eyes and say that was not the best picture of the year. It's good, but again, it's not for everyone. So this movie review is coming out on a Friday. So have fun choosing something good to watch. And if you're going into theaters, be careful, be healthy, be safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.